Attention, Commanders Nation. Today, we've got some mind-blowing news that's going to leave you speechless. What's going on with one of the most important veterans on this team? The head coach couldn't hide his excitement when talking about this key offensive player. But what does this mean for the future of the squad? If you're a true Washington Commanders fan, you can't miss this bombshell. Stick around till the end, because I guarantee this news is going to blow your mind. And that's not all. Get ready. Our star running back just got honored on an NFL TV show. But the big question is, how did he pull it off? What this player has been doing on the field left everyone in awe. Finally, the big mystery of the week. Why didn't one of our most promising defensive players hit the field in week 2? Is there something behind this decision that fans aren't aware of? Speculation is swirling, and we're about to break down what's really going on inside the Commanders' locker room. Stick with me, and you'll find out. And remember, hail to the Redskins. Why didn't Jamin Davis play in week 2 against the Giants? Now I know what you're thinking. How does a player with Davis' potential and athleticism get left out of the lineup when his team clearly needs more pressure on the quarterback? Let me tell you this. The fact that a young guy transitioning into being an edge rusher doesn't see the field is a sign of something deeper. Dan Quinn decided to Jamin Davis, a guy who played pretty well in week 1, in a game where the defense clearly needed more help on the front line. And what reason did he give? They wanted to give more reps to Johnny Newton, a rookie who's also developing, which is why they opted to throw in an extra defensive lineman in the rotation. Sure, I get Quinn's logic, but did they really need 5 defensive tackles in that game? I don't think so. Look, I'm asking you all, what are you seeing from the other edge rushers? At this point, Farrell is the only one with 2 sacks. Where are the rest? We're not seeing that fire, that constant pressure you'd expect from a team trying to seriously compete in the NFC East. So why not give Davis more snaps? 15 or 20 plays per game is the bare minimum for a guy with his level of talent and athleticism. If you know he's a work in progress, why not give him the opportunities to progress on the field? Now let me ask again, what kind of message are you sending to a player like Davis when you bring in veterans like Carlos Watkins and let a 7th-round rookie like Jean-Baptiste get more opportunities? This isn't just about on-field strategy, it's psychological too. You're telling Davis, hey, despite your potential, we'd rather give these minutes to someone else. What do you think that does to a young player's confidence? And don't get me wrong, Watkins and Jean-Baptiste have their merits, but are they really showing anything Davis couldn't if he were given a real chance to develop in real time? That's where I think Quinn is slipping a bit. When your defensive numbers aren't where they need to be, you've got to explore all your options, and Davis should be part of those options. So this goes beyond just benching him for tactical reasons. Is this really the best move for the long-term development of both the team and Davis? I'll tell you it's not. If we keep seeing the same inconsistency in the pass rush, what does that tell you about how they're handling their personnel? Are you seriously going to tell me the Commanders don't have anything to celebrate after that win against the Giants? Let me tell you something. Sure, we didn't score a single touchdown, but we still won the game. And if you don't think that's worth applauding, then you're looking at this game from the wrong angle. I'm about to break down exactly why this victory means more than what it shows on paper. First off, 425 total yards, folks. 425. Now, how does a team rack up that many yards and not find the end zone even once? I'll tell you this. It's frustrating, no doubt about it. 6 times in the red zone, and nothing. But that's where Austin Seibert comes in, and let me tell you, this guy showed up to save the day. Fresh off the street, and the man nailed 7 out of 7 field goal attempts. What more can you ask for? I'm asking, how many kickers in their first game with the team can say they did the same? Seibert deserves his props. But it wasn't just Seibert who shined. Brian Robinson, what a show he put on. With over 200 rushing yards, this team proved it can move the chains when it wants to. And here comes the topic of the moment. Austin Ekeler. Did you see that pass from Jaden Daniels to Ekeler? That's what caught the attention of the entire NFL. The folks over at even gave Ekeler the angry run scepter. A recognition usually reserved for way more brutal players, but Ekeler earned it with a ferocity on the field that can't be ignored. Now, let me ask you, Commanders Nation, are we witnessing the start of something special with this team? Because I think we are. Sure, we've got red zone issues, But when a team shows this level of resilience, you've got to pay attention. This wasn't a clean game, it wasn't a pretty game, but it was a win. And isn't that what matters at the end of the day? I think so. Make no mistake though, next week against the Bengals, we've got to step it up. Joe Burrow and his squad almost knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs, and if we want to win, we need a sharper performance in the red zone. Because we're not going to win many games without scoring touchdowns. That's for sure. Look at what we've got here. Let's talk about Zach Ertz, ladies and gentlemen. This veteran tight end, newly arrived with the Commanders, is starting to show why he's worth every penny. Last season, he only played 7 games with the Arizona Cardinals. Just 7. And now, by week 2 with the Commanders against the Giants, he led the team with 62 yards on just 4 receptions. But here's the real question. Is Zach Ertz the man the Commanders have been needing for so long? I'll tell you this. When you have a player like Ertz who impacts the game even when he's not catching passes, you've got something special. Dan Quinn, our coach, couldn't hold back and showered him with praise. He said Ertz not only won those 50-50 balls like it was a stroll in the park, but even on a third down penalty against him, he didn't let it stop him. That's presence. I felt his presence on the field, Quinn said, and I'm wondering how could you not? Now, what does this really mean for the team? Ertz doesn't just make plays that show up in the stats. He does the little things that change a game. The penalties, those details you don't see on the stat sheet, show the intelligence of this guy on the field. And for our rookie, Jaden Daniels, what's better than having a guy like Ertz, a safety net in the middle of the field? When you're in a 2-minute situation in the red zone, who do you look for? Zach Ertz. And it's no coincidence. Let's pause for a moment. I think this is the kind of tight end we've been waiting for years. We've had issues at that position, searching for someone who can give that extra touch we've been missing. And Ertz seems to be proving he has what it takes to be that piece. But of course, we're only in week 2, and the questions are inevitable. Can Ertz maintain this level throughout the season? Or are we just seeing a flash of greatness? Now I ask you, do you think Ertz will be the key factor for Daniels and the Commanders' offense this year? Because I'll tell you, if he keeps playing like he did against the Giants, we might be looking at the man who can transform this team from within. But be wary, because doing it in week 2 is one thing. Maintaining that consistency is another. And that's the big question we need to ask ourselves. Listen up, Commanders fans. I want to hear your thoughts on this hot topic. Do you think Zach Ertz is really the veteran we need to turn this team around? Or are we relying on him too quickly? Comment below. Don't stay silent. Now, let's talk about Dan Quinn's decision. Do you agree that benching Davis was the right move to give more reps to the defensive tackles? Or do you think Davis should have been out there putting pressure on the quarterback? This is where I want you to get involved. Is it fair or not? Drop your comments because I want to hear from you. Finally, Commanders Nation, a crucial question. What do you think this team needs to do to improve in the red zone? The opportunities are there, but if we don't capitalize on them, we're going nowhere. Share your thoughts and strategies below. I want to know what you think. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all our news and analysis. Join this community, which is more than just a channel. It's a family passionate about the Commanders. And remember, hail to the Redskins.